Hi, I'm Kirsti Carnahan and you're watching the Dressing Room Diaries. I guess my sort of biggest claim to fame in terms of my Broadway career would be the original cast of Kiss of the Spider-Woman on Broadway. It was awesome. Working with an incredible group of very, very talented people. John Kander, Fred Ebb, Harold Prince, Terrence McNally, Cheetah Rivera, the amazing Brent Carver as the star of the show Melina, opposite Cheetah, Anthony Crivello. And it was thrilling. We all went to work on the piece in Toronto, then went to London and spent 6 months in the West End, came to Broadway, and the show had gone through a lot of changes over the course of those previous months. So coming to New York, we heard that people were talking about it, that people were excited that we were coming in, but we really didn't know what the reaction was going to be, and we were thrilled, staggered, stunned, really, really excited by the reception of that beautiful piece of theater. And the icing on the cake was 7 Tony Awards. Let's see, I saw it on Broadway. It was the Tyne Daly revival, and she was just a force of nature. I first played Mama Rose. Actually, the only other time I played Rose was my senior year of high school. So that was a gas. So the real Rose, really, really different than the way she's portrayed in this show. There are a number of books. Obviously Gypsy's memoir and June Havoc's memoir talked about their mother. Very different, very, very different takes, different relationships, older daughter, younger daughter, all that kind of stuff. But there's a book called American Rose, which is the one that I read about Gypsy Rose Lee, and it's relatively current. But more recently, just a couple of years ago, there was a book that was published called Mama Rose's Turn that's actually Rose, her biography. Gypsy kept really extensive archives that are all at Lincoln Center Public Library. And this woman availed herself of all the correspondence, all kinds of stuff. And she pretty much has said Rose was incredibly charming, but not really the sort of powerful, sort of steamroller character. That was Ethel Merman, and the role was written with Ethel in mind. They already had her lined up as the star before the whole thing was crafted. So the personality of the role is really more Merman than Rose Hovick. Rose was definitely a force of nature, but she was charming and petite and apparently pretty irresistible, both to her own children and to the other men and women in her lives. My favorite part of playing Rose in Gypsy is I really, really love end of Act 1. Everything's coming up roses, because she is so determined and kind of in denial at the same time, so that she just powers past everything. She twists everything. Herbie says, Rose, it's for the best, and okay, so the act is finished, and this, that, and the other thing, and we're going to be a family. And she takes all of what he says and turns it around and says, you're right, it is for the best. The old act was stale and tired, and we're not finished. We're just beginning. Yeah, and she just, it's kind of la 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 la, I'm not listening, because I want reality to be this way. And you just have to dive so deep. That need to commit so fully to make it happen is really the yummy part of acting.